I entered into the foster care system when I was 12. I was just picked up from school one day. Didn't have a chance to get any of my belongings, didn't have a chance to say goodbye to my family. I was put into a home with my younger sister. My younger brother was taken somewhere else. My older brother went to a group home. I didn't have a lot of contact with my social worker even. I don't really even know my lawyer. I don't remember ever talking to him really. It kind of seemed like I was being an inconvenience, and they didn't take the time to really talk with me beforehand, before I went into court. They didn't seem to want to know what I wanted really. It was kind of scary going. I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't really anything formal. We would just go in the judge's office and he kind of would kick his feet up on the desk, and it just seemed like it wasn't a big deal. I don't know, it's not really very comforting to a younger kid who doesn't know what's going to happen or doesn't know what's going on anyways. I would encourage new judges and lawyers to get involved with the kids. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of effort to make a child feel like you want to get to know them. Kids are kind of thrown into foster homes sometimes. They're moved around and they're kind of jostled, and their life's kind of unstable anyway. So it's kind of nice when they feel like somebody's out there who cares about them, who wants to see them happy.
When I first entered the system, I was 11. It was awkward because I had never been to court. My attorney could probably spend more time with me right before there or after, like go over stuff that can happen in the future, and the judge could probably spend more time during the court process and stuff, describing what's going to go on. When it came to my mom having her rights terminated, I didn't want that to happen at all because I really love my mom. Now that I look at it, it kind of helped her out because now she's getting better at what she's working on. The social workers and judges that are with my case right now, they're doing everything possible to help me out and get through foster care and stuff like that. Get me going for the real life when I turn 18.
I started foster care when I was about 9 or 10. From foster care I went to placements because I was making bad choices. The first time I went to court, it was scary because I just had come out of detention. And going in there not knowing what was going to happen, what was supposed to happen, I don't think they really know what it feels like to go through the foster care system and to go through placements and to be without your mom and to not be able to contact your family. It's hard because my dad's not around. I've seen my dad probably about 2 times out of my life, maybe 5. Even though we make bad choices, we're not bad people. And it may seem like it because of the choices we make, but just because we make them doesn't mean we're bad. And you might know what's best for us, but listen to us. Because we do know what's best for us too. We have that too. It's part of us. And to give us a chance. I've had a lot of chances, but I think I deserve one more.
I was in foster care for 10 years. My birth mom was born mentally disabled, and her family wasn't able to help her take care of me. When I was in care, I felt like it was unfair that I didn't get to go to court hearings. I didn't feel like other people should be sitting around determining what was going to happen in my life without even hearing what I had to say about it. I think when kids get to go to court hearings, they feel more informed, more involved, more stable. I think a lot of times people don't like some of the behaviors that foster kids have. Sometimes they feel like kids act out and are angry or hostile, but I think that has a lot more to do with feeling unstable. And not getting to go to court, not knowing what's going on with your case, that sort of thing, makes a child even less stable, is going to make them even more likely to act out. And I think that people should know that, and also that children, especially older children, need to have a say in what's happening in their case. No matter what decision is made for them, that child is the one who has to live with that decision for the rest of their lives. My social worker was always there for me. I'm one of the few foster kids who I know who had the same social worker for 10 years. And she gave me her home telephone number, and I could call her anytime I needed anything. And it didn't have to be anything important by adult standards. It could be something that was important to a kid. She didn't make me feel like I was a bad person or I was a brat or anything. It was just this is important to you and I'll listen to you. And you know, that kind of speaks volumes for the way she treated me the entire 10 years that she was my social worker. The best thing that you can do for a foster child is communication. Communicating with the child, with their birth parents, with their foster parents, with the other professionals who are working on their case. It's just really important that everybody know where everybody else is coming from, and especially the child.
I entered the system when I was 10. I moved through, I believe, 4 different foster care homes and 2 residential placement facilities. I was adopted when I was 14 by 2 wonderful people. I had some experience with the court system. I had a guardian ad litem who was my main person who I talked to about anything that had to do with court. She explained things in as much as she could. I would have appreciated learning a little bit more about the whole system, the court system, but they didn't make that information available to me. I don't think the social workers didn't tell me much about what was going on. They would say, oh, you have court today, but they wouldn't tell me really what the process was like or anything like that. There was a lot of people in my life having a lot of say-so over what was going to happen in my life, and so that was kind of uncomfortable at times because I had to depend on what everybody else thought. I'd say definitely talk to foster care, the parents and also the children, because just talking to us lets you know so much more than you would otherwise. And we're people too, and I think that both sides need to know that we need to understand that they have a job to do, but yet they are human, and sometimes we don't get that perspective because they just seem like authority figures and we don't know anything else about them, but they have power over our lives.
I entered into the foster care system when I was young. I've been in independent living since I was 15, aged out of there when I was like 18. Being in foster care was not the best time in my life, but it wasn't the worst. Turning 18, aging out was the most hardest time in my life, and living by myself since I was 15, that was really hard too. It was a struggle because I didn't have a kid life. I had to pay bills when I was young, and it was just like really hard. Then when I turned 18, it's like it got worse. It's like, oh, you're 18. Most kids are happy. It's like, oh, you're 18. You're leaving the foster care system. You have no help, and you're just getting kicked out. And if you were in a normal home, they wouldn't kick you out. If you were 18, your parents would be like, oh, if you need to stay longer, you can stay longer. So just listen to the kids like they're your own kids and not treat them like they're just furniture just to be moved around. They're kids who need love too.